What's going on, YouTube? We are back. Brand new setup, brand new monitors. Man, this is exciting. I want to go over some trade recaps that we had here for Friday's trade day. We had put out a target in my chat here for a pre-market old algo and some weekly volume areas. Now, this pre-market was 8.7 of 23 bars, 420, 460.27. So that was a really big one. Now, Friday, pretty interesting. We have a couple different points of interest to kind of work with. Now, as far as POCs and volume go, right? Let's jump this real quick. Coming into that, we had these two hourly POCs, posted this on Twitter, posted this on our chat. And these were the really big over-under levels, right? So we've seen volume as support. And then, of course, after data, on a couple of really big levels down here, the 457 to 456.50s. And as long as these points were defended as mass supports from Thursday coming into Friday here, we're going to have a potential force up. And that was a lot of the Fibonacci that I'll go over after the POCs here, cause of that to force up as well. So the hourly POCs, though, these are obviously from an hourly chart. And as we go back, I'll show you where we get these from. Here. Now, these were the highest points of volume traded in the last week or so on an hourly chart. So you can see these POCs where they come in right here and right here. Now, prior POCs are something that you want to pay attention to for your current trade day if you're running into that traffic area. So if you got these big POCs here coming into your live price action trading day, you're going to want to pay attention to those very closely. So if we go and do the intraday chart, like a 5-minute on SPY, and this is for Friday, and these levels over, under, and if maintained like this, we're going to be massive support resistance. Now, we had a really big fib from CPI. We'll go over here for this pullback. But all we did was we actually went and back tested some of these POCs. So we came from data, right? And it was bad on the jobs. ADP came down, flew back right up, huge force up, hit the target of a 423.6 Fibonacci from CPI. So I'll show you that in a minute on TOS. Now, these hourly POCs, again, I just wanted to make a point of interest here as we posted these were huge over unders. So if these found resistance, started trending down and making a pattern of downside metric, we would have took that short. But if it held above, and I'll show you where our Fibonacci's are here in a sec, it was going to be a long. But you can see how clean prior POCs play out as we kind of move through. So let's get this back out of the way. Now on TOS here, remember on our last video here, we made some Fibonacci here at our last high, and these engulfing candles. Engulfing candles are extremely important for continued price action. Whenever we get a huge engulfing, you want to fib out that body. Now you fib out that body, comes into the next trade day, and the next trade, and the next trade day, whatever it happens to be, it will play out a sequence, right? And this sequence has to do with the golden pocket. This is what we called. So you see, this is that daily body, okay? Back here of the red engulfing. Now, this is slammed down. And as long as we opened up, we said above the 100, we were going to travel back, right? So if you want to see that prior video post, I'll put our prior prediction video in the description below if you want to check that out. And as we moved into the days after, right, we defended the golden pocket, which I call above or below the 50 fib. So we have the 50 fib right here on that daily. So as long as price action was defended above 456.80, we had a chance to scoop back up pretty quickly. Now, where that becomes a squeeze is two different areas. This is the top of the candle, right? So you see here Thursday, boom. So if we hold the golden pocket on Thursday, anywhere above here, this is support on the golden pocket, we will 9 out of 10 times travel back to the 0 fib. So this is filling up the candle, right? So if this is the low of the candle, this is the high of the candle. If we are obviously above the halfway point of that candle, we have a chance, a very high chance, to come back to the top of it. Now, when we move into the next trade day on Friday here, we broke out of that range. That is a huge squeeze zone, right? So we had data, faked everybody out, slammed down, absolutely perfect. Came down to yesterday's lows, 10 SMA daily, all in pre-market, 666. But that wasn't going to last because, again, here's the golden pocket above the 50 fib from that daily, right? And the 38.20. Anything above this hold, we had a chance to go up, up, and away, okay? And we had a squeeze level for the 2360, and I said anything above this 458, we have a huge algo swap from 1129.23. Anything above this is a danger squeeze zone. She's going up, 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 up. And we had this monster squeeze right out of the gates. I'm like, okay, it's a scam day. It's going straight up. You get out of the way of the market. So it comes up, hits 423.60, and this is the fib I wanted to go over with you guys. And this is from CPI. So if I go back to a 3030 here, all the way back here, you can see where we made this Fibonacci from, right? And this was way back on the CPI run. And we held PPI and CPI Fibonacci's for quite some time because sometimes the extensions, they do come into play way later. I actually had the wrong zoom in here. That's this guy here. PPI, CPI. Okay, one after another. So you get a little messy here. Let me get this one stretched out. So as you can see from that data point, here's your 2618. Here's your 100 fib is down here and your 423.60. Now, when something doesn't tag something in a live, when a price level doesn't get tagged in a live trading session, we call them magnets. So up here at this 423.60, this was never tagged. Here, it shied away, right? So if we zoom back in just a little bit, we got that price level. We notice in after hours, the price action kind of tracked it down. So we call this a magnet that never hit. So if this is the 423.60 fib and we shied it right here, then we walked another 1, 2, 3, 4 trade days back. And then it took Friday's squeeze up to run into that Fibonacci. That's a magnet tag because something that had never hit the 423.60 in live trading hours, which is the black bars here, you're going to see that have an effect to magnet up. So once it was hit, right, that's what caused that massive pullback on Friday. So you had that very, very, very massive just snap down. See this 5-minute chart here. And that was the maintenance here at 423.60. So you see that right there, comes over to the side, push right into it. And that's finally the tag. And that tag hit. And then all of a sudden, algos went nuts, slammed her back down. But again, some of these huge pieces of algo and Fibonacci we had are going to cause squeeze points. So above the engulfing candle here, above the 0% fib, that was the re-squeeze. So the 423 knocked it down, brought it back down. It consolidated here at the algo at 1129.23. And when that happened, we had that support push back up over the 0% fib and into our final zones. Now 460.75 here, I picked for the final long target as I got out of my chat. And early I said, you know, if we were breaking back up, watch for the short, come back down to support, and it's going to push up to 460, about 75 to 50. We had 460.27, and then I put these markers right here. Now these markers came from more weekly POC. So where I got these was I hopped back and I went way back here and I found some POCs relative to the breakout top. So here's your top right here, right? This is our prior 724 top. We broke out of that, right? So instantly during the day, I got to go see where our next points of interest of resistance are and where there's massive amounts of volume, right? Because we want to know where those trade at. So we picked 460.75 here because we had a really good over under with POCs in the weekly range here. And then if we go back on trading view, it's a little bit easier to see on this guy too. You can do the same exact thing. So those POCs became a target, right? So go back to the weekly chart here. I'm gonna reset. Oh, I don't know that setting set in this guy. I'm gonna leave it on TOS. That's on my other one. But long story short, you could see where that came in. So for those weekly POCs though, right? Prior targets here. Go to the daily too. I want to see if the might be dailies here. Max, head back. Let TOS do its little thing here. And these targets, again, this is just me stressing that prior POCs are what you want to see as you're kind of coming into these zones. So when we're picking like 460.75 or 80, we're seeing a ton of pickup on prior POCs, huge over under supports, resistance, support, so on and so forth. Big POCs, big support. And that's where we just picked a price level and it's not probably magned up there. Now that doesn't perfectly play out every single day like usual. You know, it's not, you're just not going to pick a random target back and it's going to magnet, but this one worked out to the penny pretty well. Now, that is it for just the Friday trade. So tune in for the next video in a little bit. We're going to do some prediction videos coming into Powell. And we got CPI Tuesday, 7:30 a.m., PPI Wednesday, 7:30 a.m. Central, and the FOMC next week. So let's get this next video on. That's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in.